Formula 1 is back for its second weekend of the 2026 season. This time, the destination is China at the Shanghai International Circuit. And all of the teams have brought a raft of upgrades for the event. We have upgrades from Ferrari. We have upgrades which weren't necessarily found last weekend in Aston Martin. And numerous other teams have small tweaks for their cars this weekend. This is, of course, a sprint weekend in China, and the circuit is vastly different to that of the opening round in Melbourne. So the pecking order more than likely is going to flip-flop as a result of these upgrades, particularly as we're so early in this regulation cycle. So without further ado, let's go over the upgrades, beginning with Ferrari. So for this weekend, Ferrari bring a small raft of upgrades, one which has been well documented and is the major aspect of the upgrade package. That is, of course, the Macarena, or the Hamilton named flip-flop rear ring, the one that we saw in pre-season testing which shocked the world. This has been accelerated by 5 rounds, which Hamilton is very thankful for, and they're looking to utilize this to claw back the straight line deficit that they have up against their main rivals in Mercedes, which became abundantly clear throughout the Australian Grand Prix weekend. Outside of that, there are 2 further upgrades which have been brought to the car. One is a tweak to the rear suspension of the SF-26, and also a real interesting but novelty on the actual halo of the car, which is looking to reduce drag by bringing airflow up through the halo and to the top side surfaces of the car, away from all of the key important areas where airflow is being designed to go through. We're talking the side pod area and the floors and diffuser. So it's just a further refinement of them looking to bring top line speed in their pursuit of chasing down Mercedes this weekend. And if you want to know just how important this rear ring could be, here's just how big of an advantage it should give. Well, it cuts drag by a further 7%, which equates to between 5 and 8 kilometers an hour on fast tracks. Now, interestingly, it also cuts drag, particularly when we're talking about on the rear tires and the chassis line itself. So with this system, it does give them an advantage, and it will be an advantage that varies between the types of circuits they're at. I would say perhaps in Monza and Spa, maybe Silverstone you could add to that list. They experience a bigger advantage at those sorts of circuits because they're much longer. And we can now add China to that list. Outside of that, let's turn our attentions to Aston Martin, who last weekend quite understandably went a little bit under the radar in terms of their upgrades because everyone was wondering, will they even finish the race? But they introduced sneakily a whole bunch of upgrades, a completely revised and new front wing to begin with, which took ideas from the ground effect era on the main upper elements of it. They have what they had in that era, which is a kink. It drops down ever so slightly in its geometries, and that is one of the main aspects of the new front wing. They also introduced some dive plane changes to the end plate and a few other winglets to introduce outwash. Now, another major aspect which they introduced was this really unique idea that has got Adrian Newey pushing the boundaries of legality without a shadow of a doubt. And that is the top surface of the front of the floor has been absolutely narrowed and dropped down. And what he's put in place there are these 2 additional winglets on the top surface. Again, looking to bring more outwash to the car. And this is being aimed and directed at the wakeboard, which again has completely changed from pre-season testing into Australia, which is now far more in line with the one we see on the McLaren MCL40. Outside of that, we also had a major upgrade for Williams, which no one seemed to talk about again last weekend. We're going to talk about it in this video because it is of relevance now. And they made wholesale changes to their car. They have a completely new floor which they introduced, which is drastically different. Unfortunately for them, as we saw in the race, it really came and amounted to nothing because the car is 28 kilograms overweight. James Vowles might have said they're not 30 kilograms overweight, but what is 2 kilograms of weight either side of that? You're still drastically over it. So what Williams will be doing throughout this opening phase of the season is looking to shed all of that excess weight and get as close to the minimum weight as they possibly can. If they do that, naturally lap time is going to generate itself as a result of this weight shedding program the team and the car will undergo. Now, how do I feel and see the unfolding of this weekend is going to look like? Well, I think we're going to have the usual suspects in the positions we saw them in Australia. But I do think Ferrari are going to stand a much better chance of fighting Mercedes on all fronts and in all aspects. I think qualifying is going to be a lot closer, and I think the race as well will be, particularly with the upgrades they've brought for this weekend. Those are substantial upgrades, particularly with the focus on the back straight, which is essentially over a mile long. The improvements on the straight line and the drag is going to play of a key importance, not only in the race, which I think we saw last weekend. Ferrari were a lot more competitive in the race than they were in qualifying, but also qualifying is going to be quite an exciting aspect. I think generally we see when it's sprint weekends, Ferrari can get the setup completely spot on straight away, whereas Mercedes can sometimes be a little bit lackluster in this aspect and take them a bit of time. But I think that is not going to be the case necessarily. This is a new generation and everyone seems to be on an equal playing field when it comes to setup of the car. But I think we're going to see an evolution throughout the weekend of competitiveness from the teams, and I think they're going to see a fluctuation between the gaps. Behind them, I think we're going to see McLaren looking a lot more competitive this weekend as they get to grips on their actual power unit and the software behind its running. And I think Red Bull are going to lag that little bit further behind this weekend and be a little bit more towards the midfield. That is how I see things running there. And I think Haas may be a sneaky kind of dark horse for the weekend in terms of outperforming their expected positions and expectations of the Formula One world. And that is all the upgrades we know of thus far for this weekend's Chinese Grand Prix. Hope you've all enjoyed it. If you have, drop a like on this video. Hit the subscribe button if you're new here on F1 Tech Unraveled. And I will see you all later on in the weekend. Catch you then.